This is the No More OGs podcast. From controversial topics to creating financial freedom, we will talk to real people about real situations, providing real solutions. No celebrity endorsements. Bringing you unfiltered discussions, dope interviews, and giving you the blueprint to create the culture that you will be proud of. So kick back, turn up the volume, and let's get to it. Here's your host, yours truly, Mr. Purpose on Demand, Mr. Retired at 37, Mr. Tim Jackson. What's going on? It's your man, Tim Jackson, Mr. Purpose on Demand. This is the No More OGs podcast. I am your host, and I am so excited about the guest that we have today, man. This has been a long time coming. This is a brother that I've sat back and just watched from a distance and admired. I always tell him, and I tell people when I talk about him, like, man, this dude has been here before. He's just way too wise for his age. But what he's doing in the podcast space, it's just unbelievable, specifically in the short amount of time that he's doing it. This dude makes a post and it's going viral because the content is so dope. So, guys, without further ado, I want to introduce to some and present to others my brother, Mr. Xavier Miller. What's good?
Man, thank you, bro. That's the best intro I've ever received, bro. I really appreciate that for real.
Hey, man, listen, I appreciate what you're doing, man, for the culture I call the culture because...
Right.
You know how I feel about this culture.
I already know how you feel about it.
And we share some similar beliefs on the culture.
Very similar.
Yeah, man. Yeah. But I feel like, I got to ask you, man, how old are you, bro?
I'm 29.
Okay, 29 years old. I've been telling people you 27, so I've been making you like this super legend, right? But man, this dude is like...
That's cool. I'll take that.
Like, this dude is 29 years old. He's not 30 yet, man. It's like he's mastered the art of consistency. You know, we had an opportunity to have dinner the other day, and people were like, hey, man, what is that you're doing? And your answer was, man, I'm just being consistent. But I've literally watched you grow your page, and I've watched you from a distance before I even knew who you were, before we even connected. And, man, I just want to say, you doing your shit, man.
Thank you, bro.
I got to ask you straight up, like, what motivated you, and I believe it's your girlfriend.
Yeah, my wife.
Your wife.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
You good.
You and your wife. Shout out to the wife. My wife be watching all my shit. You better mention me. Y'all started a podcast, and man, it was literally about, just showing people how to generate more income for themselves. And it turned into something that you probably could never imagine. Like, let's talk about that.
No, it did. So, like, you like what started it?
Yeah. So, take me down that road, bro.
Man, so to take you down this road, I got to go back first, like, because this is very crucial to the story. This is the whole reason why I started. So, as you know, I was in the military.
Yes, sir.
Air Force. Shout out to the Air Force. So, I got in 2013. And when I got in, I was kind of like solo by myself, stacking bread. I probably stacked my first 10,000. I was only like 21 years old. So, but after a while, I got in a relationship. Mm-hmm. You know how I go young in a relationship. Yeah. I'm blowing cheese now. We traveling and we kicking it. Having a ball.
Man,
like,
my wife wasted so much damn
you know
money
what I'm saying?
That first stage.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
you just wasting. But like, so it was like 2 years after being together, I get tasked with a deployment. And you know how the military work, but when you get tasked with a deployment, they give you a time frame. It's usually about like 4, 5, 6 months until you leave. But before I left, luckily I had a supervisor that he was a civilian. He was a GS-13, government contractor. And I just worked with civilians at this time. And he encouraged me. He said, bro, you need to go make a will. I'm only like 23. I'm like, man, what the fuck I'm making a will for? I'm 23 years old. Yeah. He like, do you not know what you do? You're in the military. Yeah. You go overseas, some shit blow up, you dead. Yeah. I was like, oh shit, I am in the military. I'm buying, like, what the fuck you mean make a will? I'm young.
The Air Force will have you think you're not in the military, bro. And they be shitting on us, bro. Other branches be shitting on us, and we defend that shit, but then we get around each other, we be like, yeah, they right, you know what I'm saying? We got the best dining facilities, where our deployments be
best
like
dorms,
best dorms.
All that shit,
I used to deploy with Army and Marine guys. They
hated you.
They used to live so bad. We did the same deployment. They used to live so bad that we'd be over in the Air Force, dorms, AC, TV,
all that,
a pool table,
every fucking thing. We living it. We living it up. So I get tasked. He encouraged me to go do this will. So I go do the will. I go in this room. It's about 25 people in there. I'm probably like the youngest person in there. And they give us the paper and they like, all right, y'all write all y'all like stuff down, all y'all assets and stuff like that. So no exaggeration, bro. Within 45 seconds, I was done writing. And if you know anything about a will, if you done in 45 seconds, what that mean?
I mean, you don't have shit.
Shit.
As people say down here in the South, you ain't got a pot to piss in or a window to throw it out of, bro.
I literally remember what I wrote down, bro. I wrote down Xbox, I had about 10 pair of Jordans. I had a watch. And I probably had like $1,000 in my savings. I don't even know if it was 1,000. It might have been like $900 in my savings account. So I finished so quick, bro, and it was so embarrassing. I finished so fast. I look around, everybody's still writing. I started fake writing. Yeah. Because I was so embarrassed. I'm like, I just can't sit here. People gonna be looking at me like, nigga, damn, you done already? Yeah. So I just started fake writing, like, but in that moment, bro, that embarrassment and that shame, it kind of like gave me that wake up call. Because I immediately thought like, damn, so if I do go over here and die, it's like I've been living for no fucking reason. I got nothing to leave behind to my mom, my dad, my brothers, my girl. I have absolutely nothing to leave. It'll be like I was never here. Damn. You know what I'm saying? I didn't have no kids. It's like I would have been dead. It was been like
all you had was them old hood stories.
Old hood stories and memories.
And I don't know why black people see that as currency. Like, I made a post today. I said, if you don't own real estate in your hood, like, stop claiming that shit. Yep. Like, because what's gonna happen is you're gonna complain about the hood being gentrified. Or we can, you know that was our thing. I mean, you talking about gentrification. Yep. You're gonna complain about somebody coming in gentrifying your shit, and that whole process, if you subscribe to it, is them buying you up out that motherfucker and moving you out. Yeah. So all you gonna have are those stories. Like, I can't pass down the story. That story will last one generation.
It ain't gonna feed nobody.
Them grandkids ain't gonna be telling them stories. But like you said, it ain't gonna feed nobody, bro.
It's not gonna feed absolutely nobody. It's gonna be like, dang, that's a cool story to hear. So
what we doing later on?
What we doing? That's absolutely it. What we doing later on? But after I did my will, I told myself, I said, fuck. I said, I'm about to go on this deployment and I'm saving all my chips. I'm not spending nothing. I didn't know like nothing. I didn't know a lot about like how to invest and all this at the time, but I knew about it, but I didn't know like the how to. But I knew like I'm about to go on this deployment and the how to part.
You had the idea, but not the concept.
I had the idea, but not the, that's exactly what it was. Yeah. But I said, when I go there, I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to work, stack my bread, and I'm going to figure it out. So I left January 15th, 2017. I was gone for 7 months. I came back August 1st.
Where you go?
I went to Qatar, Doha. IUD. I was there for 7 months. And I went and I did everything I said I was going to do. I studied my ass off. I learned about crypto over there. I learned about real estate. I learned about stocks. And I came home with $25,000. And that's not a whole lot of money, but when you're 23 years old, that's a whole lot of money to start with. Especially when your bills, my expenses was so fucking low. So
and a lot of people go on them deployments and bring back a gang of like mink blankets and gold and shit. Like I've seen so many people go on those deployments and trick their money out. You came back pretty much with every fucking check. Is what it sounds like.
Everything, because what I would do, bro. Every time I got paid, just so I didn't spend the money, I would wire my girl. Like I would wire her like immediately, and what I would tell her is, just so you don't spend the money, I want you to go to the bank, take it out, and put it in the safe. We had a safe. I'm like, put it in the safe. And every time I'm on her, I'm like, make sure you do that. So when I came home August 1st, she meet me at the airport, pick me up, take me home. I'm happy to see her, but you know.
Going straight to that safe.
You know what I'm like? Take me to she took me to the back, opened the safe up. Everything I sent her was right there. I said, "Oh, it's up. We finna make some moves now."
So wait a minute. You got that $25,000 and you didn't take no money phone pictures?
I did.
Yeah.
I absolutely did. I got a picture in my phone right now to this day where I'm smiling hard in the motherfucker. I got the money in my hand. I'm like.
And that wasn't no setup, because I'll never forget when me and my wife first bought our trucks. I had to take $15,000 out the bank. And so I did a picture. I spread the money out. I didn't post it, but I still got that picture to remind me of like, it's a lot of money, and the concept of if you don't come from any money, you don't know about money. But once you start learning about money, that's not really a lot of money.
Exactly.
I've spent more than that on expenses for a month.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I posted me paying a $20,000 American Express bill before. Like, so when people say, it's kind of like when people talk about, I want to be a millionaire, I always say, okay, when you say you want to be a millionaire, do you want to be a millionaire with 7 figures? You want to be a millionaire with 9 figures? Because they're both millionaires.
They're both, but there's a big difference.
There's a huge, huge difference, right?
So huge got to be specific.
And I had to ask you if you did the money phone, man.
Yeah, I did that
because we're gonna do the next.
Yeah, I was only 23 at that time, bro. I'm like, this is the most money I ever had. It's cash. It was like all 20s too. So it would look like this. Yeah. So I'm like, ooh, I was just looking at that shit for days. But after that, I immediately started investing, bro.
What was your first investment?
It was Amazon stock. It was Amazon stock, Facebook, and Nike. I remember, bro, I had this board in my office in my apartment. Like, I wasn't bullshitting, bro. I went overseas. I learned all this shit. I came home. I had this board. My girl, she ain't know nothing about investing like that. I had a whole class, just me and her. I said, "This is how you invest." Blah 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 blah. You gonna invest in your first stock today. And her first investment was Nike. And we just stuck with it. So then after doing that, I started buying crypto. Like I said, I was learning about crypto, but I was kind of scared about it because it was so. This 2017, people scared now. Imagine 6 years ago how scared people was.
6 years ago, people had no clue.
What the fuck it was. But I did a lot of research, so I was comfortable. So I started investing in crypto. Then about a year later, I started buying real estate. And then at the end of 2018, this is a year and a half after I came back, had some experience. I'm just having, me and my girl at this time, all we talking about is business, finances, how we gonna grow our wealth. And then I just had this idea. I was like, we should start a podcast just so people could have the opportunity to be a fly on the wall, especially where we from. Like, she from Cleveland, I'm from Chicago. These young people our age ain't got the opportunity to hear these conversations.
People like that from the Midwest,
right?
In the South too, but y'all, they ain't really seen nobody. Because most of the people, it's like mill towns, it's factory towns, it's car towns. So once that mill, that factory, or that car spot shut down, Cleveland, okay, well, let me go work at Quicken Loans.
Exactly.
Let me see if the call center hiring, right?
Yeah. So I'm like, let's do it. So she came up with the name with the podcast, December 24th, 2018. We did our first episode, and we was just talking like what we want to do with the podcast, what we've been doing, and then after that, took off.
It's funny because I've witnessed so many people ask you, like, man, how do you do it? How do you do it? Like, what's the secret formula? Mm-hmm. And the secret formula is not really thinking about the secret formula. Exactly. The secret formula is just going out there and just doing it and not really giving a fuck about what anybody thinks, not caring about failure, because at the end of the day, what's the worst that can happen? Like, a few people see you online and laugh and say you sound stupid, or what's the best that could happen? It could become, at one point, you were the number 2 podcast.
Number 3. That's what we peaked at. Number 3
podcast on iTunes. Like, that's an accomplishment in itself. But let's dive into, something that I think a lot of people are going to miss and a lot of people are going to pick up.
Okay.
That trust in that relationship. I always tell people that marriage is a life hack. If you play the game,
you play it right.
Marriage is a business. If you go into marriage and you look at it like it's a business, and not look at it like it's love, so to speak, like a lovey-dovey, you can really, really play the game of marriage right. And I always say that, and people look at me funny, or they look at me like, this nigga get it. Because it's a business. You need a license to operate a marriage, do you not?
No, that's exactly what you need.
You have to have a license, right?
You have to.
So me and my wife got together. We always joke and say we didn't get married because we loved each other. We were in love with each other. We got married because it was beneficial. For us both. Yeah. We had the same mindset. We had the same ideas. We had the same goals. She knew that whatever it was that she wanted to do, I was going to support it no matter what. I knew that no matter how crazy my ideas sounded, she was going to support it no matter what. I knew that I would never have to convince her to do anything. And I look at a lot of relationships that go south. It's because they're not on the same page. Because they're not. People like to use the term equally yoked, but I say they're just not on the same page from a business standpoint.
Facts.
Like, can you speak to like how important it is to have a wife, a partner, someone that literally sees your vision and doesn't shit on those ideas when you bring them to her, because she understands that you got that idea for a reason. The idea is the validation, and you're not coming to her for validation. You're coming to her for that support, to know encouragement. That you got me if this shit don't work, and I got you if it do.
Yep, man, that is having a partner that believe in you is fucking everything. But I think the first thing is, as a man, you got to be a man with vision. You got to have vision. You got to have foresight to see things and have work ethic. And then the woman that you're looking for, I think she has to have that, like you talk about, that belief. You know what I'm saying? She got to have that belief in you that know, like, this is what he want to do. I completely support him. And she got to have vision as well. And she got to have certain things you look for. Like, I look for, like, organizational skills, because I know I'm not the most organized. Like, these are the things I look for. I'm like, okay, she's extremely organized, very smart. I'm like, okay, this is a good fit. Like,
we complement each other.
We complement each other well, and it's
a good business relationship.
Exactly.
In business, what they tell you to do? They tell you to outsource the shit you're not good at. Like if literally people applied the laws of business to relationships, they would never have an issue with a bad relationship because they would be able to spot the opportunity. I know it's gonna sound like some pimp shit, y'all, but just stick with your boy. Y'all be able to spot it. Like one reason I love one thing I loved about my wife, one thing that attracted me to her before I even knew what the love was between us was that, honestly, man, she didn't need me. Like she didn't need me at all. And I thought that was super attractive because in previous relationships, I was always that dude that carried the relationship financially, that carried the relationship from, oh, you got it, baby. Don't worry about this. I was always that dude. And when I met her, it was like, she didn't need me for shit.
Right.
When I tell you, Xavier, like that was like, that right there was enough for me. Like, okay, here's somebody that doesn't need me, who's talking about their goals, who's actually accomplishing her goals. I think she was in grad school when I met her. She had went back to school. She was in education teaching, and I was just like, damn, she literally is doing everything that I've thought about doing, and not only is she doing it, she's accomplishing it. Like speak to that with your wife, man, because a lot of people right now, the climate is, I see all this Galentine's Day shit.
Yeah, that's yeah.
I see all this, niggas talking about, oh, you a simp if you feel this kind of way, and I just had Byron Sellers on, and you know how clicked up and how tight him and his wife are in the business. Like, people really, really, really are sleeping on the importance and the power of a relationship that's strong.
That's because, to be real, I think it's because most motherfuckers ain't trying to do shit with their life. That's what it boils down to. If you're really trying to accomplish a lot of large things at life, especially at scale, you're naturally going to see the value in having a good partner. Man. You naturally going to see it because you know you can't do everything alone. And you need somebody to be that backbone, to be that support system that encourages you, that could see your vision and move. Like, every man wants somebody to encourage them and push them to, like, move forward. You know what I'm saying? So, but if you're not trying to do shit, your whole mission in life is to fuck bitches. You don't see the value in being with somebody on that kind of level. So, like, I tell people all the time, especially men, like, you have to dominate something. Like, you have to. If you're not trying to dominate life and your finances and move forward, you're going to need to dominate pussy. All you're going to be chasing is pussy, 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 pussy. That's why, in my opinion, dudes that's out here having the most kids, and when you personally know them, what the fuck is they doing on a day-to-day? Nothing. They chilling on the block, talking shit. Where the hoes at? Where the hoes at? But that's because they not trying to dominate nothing in life, so they naturally just gonna dominate women sexually. But if you trying to move forward, like me, I want to build an empire. So naturally, that lifestyle fits me more. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's just what it boils down to. It's just common sense. If you're trying to do dope things and dope shit have longevity and whatever the fuck you doing, you're going to naturally see the value, like, man, I need to lock in with somebody. Even if it's not marriage, per se, you're going to see the value in just not being out here doing fucking everything. You know what I mean?
You know, every great man has fallen to his sexual desires.
Everyone.
I don't give a fuck who you study.
Exactly.
Every great man has fallen to, for lack of better words, a piece of pussy.
Yeah.
And you said something deep, man. You said, you look at a lot of people, and I think about all the people that I know that's got a bunch of baby mamas and shit and a bunch of kids, like, shit, I'm pushing 40. And I run to these niggas and that's what they talking about, these hoes.
Exactly.
Ooh-wee. That's why I'm real funny about what barbershops I go to.
Me too, bro.
Specifically with my son. Like, if I go to the barbershop and niggas up in that motherfucker smoking and drinking and, shooting, playing dominoes, like doing a bunch of nigga shit, just talking recklessly. Women coming in there, they, damn, look, I don't even want my son there. Like, I don't even want my son to come around. Because my thing is, if this is what his impression is going to be about black men, which isn't the total impression of our society, but it is the face of the culture. Somebody gonna catch that shit. It's not the face of our society, it's the face of our culture. Then I don't want him to grow up thinking that shit is normal. Exactly. I want to take him to where it's a bunch of grown men conducting business, talking to you like you're somebody important, asking my son about my grades. My son walking to the barbershop, how your grades doing? How you doing over this? I saw you doing this. They lifted my son up. They giving him an example of like what a man should be. And a lot of people don't understand, like, those cultural influences, man, they mean something on us as a people because we saw a lot of fuck shit growing up.
We did.
And what separated us from a lot of people, I like to think, but specifically me and you, is that we got the fuck out of our city and we got the fuck out of our environment. And then once we got the environment, we started meeting real solid motherfuckers that was like, nah, bro, this is how you do it.
That's exactly what happened. Getting out of your city is everything. Just because it's too fucking busy, especially if you live in a major city. If you live in a small country town or something, I can't really speak too much on that. But if you live in a major city, the busyness is too many distractions. And this is where you from. And you know everybody. It's not like you a migrant there where you might not know too many people. But when you from there and came up with these people, same neighborhood, same school, same church, all that shit, it's hard to just sit your ass down and figure out what you want to do. Because when you try to do that, motherfucker sitting in your line, hey, pop out. We outside tonight. We going out. And it's...
why you want to do that shit, bro? I heard Monster. That's the motherfuckers that get you the most in the hood. Nah, man, I heard that shit don't work, man. I heard, right. Who the fuck you hear that shit from,
exactly.
bro? Have you ever did it? You know what I'm saying? Like,
no, facts.
Like, seriously.
No, that's really what it is. So getting out your city, if you can do it, because me and you, we joined the military, so it was easier for us. By any means necessary. Bro. I said, I'm getting the fuck up out of here.
Getting the fuck out of Dallas, bro. Like, I signed up for the military when I was 17. I knew my partners... By senior year, man, my partners went from fighting and shit at the club to shooting the clubs up. Mm-hmm. And it's like, you already see where this going, shit, my nigga. Like, and then it's like, I ain't gonna talk too much about it. I don't want to put myself in those. Right. But it's just like, this is the only option that we have is to essentially get high, get drunk, fuck bitches, kill niggas. Like, that's the alternative. Like, that's the pride. That's the badge of honor. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you look at the way the culture is set up right now, we big up a bunch of these old niggas, specifically these rap niggas, and I'm not shit on nobody because I got rap clients. I got niggas that's rapping with blue checks that are my clients. I got athletes that's my clients. What I'm saying is that we bigging up these niggas from the hood that's glorified in that fuck shit, but then we act surprised when shit happen. Like, it's kind of like the RIP post. You'll never see me do a RIP post for nobody. Really? Specifically for people that's entertaining that hood shit, that shit, because it's like,
that's what come with it.
That's what come with it. Why are we so surprised that buddy got hit up?
Facts.
And it's like, even my partners. I was on Facebook the other day, and a partner of mine, a partner nigga I grew up with, I know him.
Right.
He was like talking about how somebody else we knew got killed, and I'm just like, my nigga, we 40. Like, you still in them streets? We 40 years old. Your kids graduating high school, my nigga. What's the end game? So, y'all, listen to what he's saying. Like, get the fuck out your city. If you live in Dallas, move to Fort Worth. Like, even if it's just going to a different county, bro. Right. Like, get the fuck out of your environment, because that product of your environment shit is real. And if you surround yourself with a bunch of motherfuckers that don't have shit going for themselves, and that's not the entire community, but you know what the fuck I mean when I say that, that's what you're going to become. That's what you're going to become. And you can't be surprised when that shit happens.
That's a fact. No, that's a fact, bro. That's a fact. We
act surprised. Too often within this culture, we've been trained to pretty much just get kicked in the ass every day. Like, don't say shit. You know it's fucked up.
Don't say nothing.
You know that how this shit end. Like, we know how it end, right?
We done seen it.
We done seen it 1,000 times, bro. So, talk about how important it was. Like, you got out the military and you didn't go back to Chicago.
No, I didn't. That wasn't even an option. But even if my parents were still there, my parents they retired and they moved to Florida to be closer to my brother, because my brother was in the Navy. So that's how I got exposed to the military lifestyle. My brother, he was in the Navy, he had kids. So when my parents retired, they moved down there to be with him. So my immediate family, they was already gone outside of Chicago. So that wasn't even an option. Even if they was there, it wasn't an option in me going back. It wasn't even a thought. It was like, because it's nothing dear for me. My family, I fuck with my family, but as far as professionally, business, like, and it's cold as hell. Let's be real. I wasn't doing that.
But let's keep it real too. Like, you didn't see Chicago as a place to thrive. It's big, and we know Chicago is the third largest city in the nation, right?
Yeah.
Because you were there, you didn't come up seeing success from, I guess we'll say, that north side success, if you will, right?
No, I did.
You did?
Yeah, I did.
Okay,
so,
I
did. I got I had an interesting dynamic coming up. I was exposed to like a lot of shit. Even though my family, we wasn't financially well, my family had family members that were. Like, on my mom's side, I had family members that got it out the street game on a high level, like millions and millions of dollars, like matches and shit. And I was exposed to that. And then on my dad's side, he got people in his family that's on a corporate level that's multi millions as well. So and they got mansions and shit. So I was exposed to, but so early on, I always knew it, like, I want to be rich, because I seen it enough. Yeah. Like, even though it was in my day-to-day life, when I would go see these family members, I'm like, damn, this shit crazy. I want some shit like this. It was just like, which way can I get it? It's either gonna be some street shit
you was
or
exposed.
corporate. I was exposed.
Okay, and we can park right there because I always talk about the mentoring and how important it is to be exposed. Like one thing we do with our mentoring program is we take them around, we travel with them.
Right.
Because a lot of kids never leave Dallas unless they going to court or going to prison. Like that's it. That's the only time people take trips. And when we get them out of town and we bring them back to Dallas, their whole mentality changes. Because they see that there's something else outside of what they normally see. And it literally opens up their world. And you got exposed to what success looked like, but you also kind of had a decision to make, right?
Yeah.
So let me ask you this. What made you lean towards more of the right decision?
Easy. My parents. I came up in the right household. So even if, like, I give my dad a lot of credit. Like, I was just talking to somebody else about this recently. I didn't really see the value in everything that he did for me and my brothers until I became adult. I was one of the few, like, out of my friends that actually had both parents in my household. I know for a fact, like, I tell people this all the time, I'm 100% certain if my dad was in the house, me and my brothers, we would have went to that other side. But the fact that my dad was there and he was a stern dad, and he was each time we was getting off track, he's got us to get back on track.
Yeah.
So it was always that, like, man, I want to do the right thing because I ain't trying to be into it with my pops and shit. So, and he always instilled in us doing the right thing. You know what I'm saying? He brought us up in the church and all that shit. So that was just naturally in me, even though I did have the other side of me too. That
It's in you, though.
It's in me.
And a lot of people think that when I say no more OGs, like people that know me. I'm not shitting on where we came from. What I call out or hold accountable is that we're staying there. Right. And a lot of men, I feel like our men specifically, we have to step up and create examples for our kids because they're very impressionable. So you got your dad. I tell my son all the time, my son, you met William before. Mm-hmm. He got me. It's like, I tell him all the time, do you know how many people don't have their dad?
Yeah, but you don't know how lucky you are, bro.
You don't understand how lucky you are. He done been out the country. He's traveled. He's been with me to speak places. Like, that shit ain't normal. But why ain't it normal, though? So when you get around people, and it's I can always tell based on the demeanor of a person I meet, specifically if they're not that emotional. He had his dad.
Oh, absolutely. I always know too. Like, he's right. That's the pinpoint. See, if they're not emotional, they just lay back. You'll never see him get too high, too low. You be like, that nigga he probably was raised with his pops, grandpops, something.
He had a bunch of men around him, right?
You
know what I'm saying? And it's one thing to joust with people and kind of put people in their place, but the emotion side of it, like, oh, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But speak to, you said you and your brothers would have ended up in the street without your dad. Like, talk about your dad a little bit, man. Like, I think people need to hear about that because when you turn on the TV, black men aren't shown in a positive light. No. They're always shown as not being there, right? And truly, our generation specifically, we're on record to be like some of the best dads in history. You know what I'm saying?
That's facts. That's facts.
Like, talk about your pops, man. Like, talk about that discipline that he instilled in you and why, until this day, you subscribe to those principles of that discipline and how you were passing that discipline down through your podcast.
My dad, he a laid back kind of guy. He didn't like in the household, he didn't talk a whole lot. He only really used to say a lot when it was like correcting us, trying to teach us something, put some value in us. But other than that, he didn't like speak a whole lot. Even to this day, he don't really say a whole lot unless we having serious conversation. I think that's why I'm like so I don't even really know how to have small talk because now that I think about it, my dad, he not even like a small talk kind of person. It was never like no bubblegum shit. Like whenever he was talking about something, it was something like, you fucked up, I'm on your ass, or like, you know what, you could do this, you should do this, blah 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 blah. So he was just naturally he worked a regular job. Like I don't know how much money he made, but I know it wasn't like, I hope he don't get mad at me if he see this, but I know it wasn't a lot. Like I tell people this story, like the building I live in now, my dad used to work in one of those type of buildings as the doorman. Mm-hmm. So when I go home and I go to my building and I see my concierge and stuff, I always treat them with the most respect because when I see him, I naturally see my dad because that's what he did. So
that's dope, man.
Yeah.
That's how I am with the post office.
Yeah, for real?
When I worked at the post office.
For real?
So like you look up any post office anywhere and look at their reviews. Their reviews be shitty. But like when I go in there, like I be nice. I be super nice to them.
Because you see your mom.
I see my mom at the post office, man.
Yeah.
Like so I go in, I'll joke with them and speak like the post office language and shit. They like, how you know about that? You must be a postal kid. I'm like, yeah. I used to go to the union meetings and shit with my mom. So like I understand exactly what you mean, but that's a humbling thing, right?
It is.
It brings you back to earth because you realize that no matter how much success you receive, there's still people out there who may not ever reach your level of success, but they're still human beings.
Human beings,
and
bro.
They're hard work. Like postal workers are hard workers. Concierge people are their relationship. Like they're hard workers. They essentially run that hotel. If you think about it,
they do.
They got to know where everyone is at all times.
They
buildings.
They work hard, bro, and my
to make your life easy.
That's facts. That's facts. And the great. I want to give my dad this props though, because the great thing he did by keeping me and my brothers humble is that like around holidays, Christmas times, he'll be like, ain't no before we open gifts and do all that. That whole week leading up, we going outside and we feeding the homeless in the Chicago winters, going door to door for like a week straight. You know what I'm saying? So my natural need and want to give back is natural in me because that's how I was brought up.
I can see that in you too, because I look at some of the people that you bring on your show, and you bring people from
all walks of life.
Right, bro. You bring people you bring some interesting people on your show, including myself, man. I mean, people be looking at me like, man, who is this nigga? But you bring them on, and you give them an opportunity to show something else. And I think in today's age, like we want everybody to agree with us.
Facts.
We want everybody to, it's like an echo chamber, right? But literally the people that you bring on, outside of the commonality being that they're business people, they typically don't have shit in common.
No.
Maybe business people and parents.
Yeah.
They come from a totally different world and show concepts that I go and read your comments, man. And I'm not ashamed to say this. A lot of people, you know, we come from that get it out the mud.
Right.
You know, we want to make it seem like we got learn everything on our own and we just woke up with this.
That's our culture.
Nah, fuck that. I study successful people. I literally study successful people. And I go and I read your comments. I'm like, people be like, damn, I never knew that. Oh man, this is the best episode I've heard. Man, how come nobody ever taught me this? And it's just like, that's going to keep them coming back. Because if you provide them that kind of value in one episode, I'm ready to learn about everything else.
Everything else.
And that's me when I be listening to it. I'm like, man, I would have never thought that you could do that with your insurance policy. I would have never thought that you could do this. I still got my side eye on cryptocurrency.
Right. That's understandable.
Shit like that.
I don't fuck with Forex either.
Man, it seems like every fake account on Instagram
it's the bots, bro.
Trying to sell you some Forex.
But I didn't. Speaking on Forex, I didn't ask some people that's heavy in that game that's really making bread. I'm like. Then they tell me they like it's the bots that fuck up the perception of the industry. They was like, we trade and just let people do on the stock market, but the bots be trying to, because the MLMs and shit, they want to get people in their programs and groups. But like us that's trading on the day to day, we ain't doing that shit at all. We don't give a fuck what y'all doing. So it's the perception. It took me a while to even realize that, because I just thought all Forex was just like some weird scam shit. But I learned like, it's just the bots got to give a terrible perception about the industry for it. But it is. But like what you said though. Giving out value at the end of the day, like you said in the beginning, ain't no secret to this shit, man. It's gonna be value, consistency, and just putting that out regularly.
So something will catch fire, like
something's
gonna catch fire. I made that post yesterday, bro, and I swear to you, I was laying down. I had my daughter next to me, and I was scrolling through Instagram, and I saw a video of Judge Mathis, and I thought, man, that's a real video. But the way they had it chopped up, it was just too long.
Way too long, huh?
So, like I said, I've been studying your shit. I'm like, okay, his shit don't be longer than 60 seconds. Sometimes it's 30 to 45, like just catching, what's working, right?
Yep.
So I said, let me chop this shit down a little bit. And I just chopped it down to the points.
Yep.
And I said, okay. Then I know with Instagram, if you use the same audio, they're going to probably put it onto another audio. So you got to do certain things like rename the audio, add a different type of song to it. Like, it's different ways you can manipulate it, right? And
you know it.
I've been following, but I don't know this shit out my dome.
No, you know it.
I follow you and a couple other guys that we went out to lunch with the other day. And I said, let me just post this shit. And I'll never forget when we were at dinner on Saturday, you were like, just keep going, man. Like, just, no matter what it is, just keep posting. Eventually, something gonna take off. Man, that post right now is sitting at like 10,000 shares, 285,000 views. I'm like, I sent the shit to you. I was like, damn, this shit taking off.
I said, let's get it.
I woke up this morning. I'm like, damn. But it goes back to that consistency, because you a millennial, right? You're that last edge.
Yeah, I'm not like that last cut off
last edge.
Yeah, I'm not like that last cut off. Yep.
And a lot of people your age and a little bit younger, and even my age, it's like they don't really value work ethic. They don't value the seasons that you have to go through. They want to show up and win right now.
It's the reason for that. It's because people, they want to emulate the results instead of emulating the process. And I just talked to Andre about this, and he said something very similar. And I said, that's a fucking fact, bro. Because what the problem is, when people put something out, when they trying to brand themselves for anything and they put something out, they want success immediately. As soon as they put it out, it's like, I want the results. I want 1 million likes. I want $1 million. I want the praise. I want everything, without realizing that's not going to happen in the beginning. It is not. But you just gotta keep going anyway. Even if you're getting 1 like, 2 like, you just gotta keep fucking going. You just gotta not let it phase you. Just like, okay, this post ain't get much engagement. Whatever, I'm posting again. Okay, they ain't get much engagement, I'm posting again. And then when it happens, and when you get a whole lot of engagement, the trick is, because this is a funny thing. When you do experience some success, the hard part now is really to keep going, because it's not always going to be peaks like that. And when you go back down, it's like, oh fuck, are you going to give up now,
bro? Like, let's talk about that, because shit, I got the one post that's going at the 2,
exactly.
Whatever's at,
and then the next one,
next post, that hoe was sitting on 80
exactly.
for like an hour. Sit down.
Exactly.
It started catching up. What I realized is, though, people who watched the first one, some of them watch the second one. So now I got to put a product behind it, right?
Yes.
So now when they come back, I got to show them value, give them something to purchase that's worth their time, but then keep giving them value. And that's one thing about you, man. I know we talked offline about some stuff you're getting ready to put out with the ebooks and stuff like that. But you're constantly providing people with value.
Yes.
And I think that when people realize that it's the value that people stay for, they'll show up for you. They stay for the value.
They stay for the value.
And if you keep giving them value, they don't give a fuck what you look like, what color you are.
They gonna show up.
They gonna show up. And so that's a good way to segue into they gonna keep showing up, man. Let's talk about Grant Cardone. So a lot of people send me the Grant Cardone video, man. I don't never talk about nobody on here, but the only reason I'm talking about this is because I feel like that there's people within the industry, the social media industry, who do it right. And there's people within and they're authentic. And there's people within the social media industry who do it for the look. And they get a little bit more praise and a little bit more validation than the people that's doing it for what they
should be doing. That's true.
Right. And that's not the shit on Grant Cardone. I don't know Grant Cardone personally. But I would say this to him if I was in his face. He went on to I guess a conservative show and said, most of my people are black, 40% of my audience is black, and the way we get to them is we pretty much dumb down the content, right? And I don't necessarily disagree with what he said. I just wasn't a fan of the audacity of how he said it and where he said it, right? Like, we all know as creators that sometimes you have to shift your target. You gotta lower stuff down or make it plain, right? But I don't know, what are your thoughts on that? Because you're more of an influencer than I am, and you're I know everybody named Mama sent you that video. Like, what were your thoughts on it, man? And we're not shitting on Grant. I just want to know from a standpoint of social media, like when I wrote my book, I wrote it at a 5th grade level. Why? Because the numbers say that most people don't read past the 5th grade level. My target audience was black men, and most black men don't read books after the 5th grade. Like those are numbers. Go look them up yourself. So I made it very, very simple. But I would never.
You would never say that.
I would never go onto
a platform and say something like, "Oh, I targeted black niggas because they don't read," or something.
I wouldn't say that. Like that.
Right. It's like what you say. How you say it.
I wouldn't be like that, because it's like it comes across a little condescending and comes across a little. And then he done did some suspect shit in the past. Talking about he wanted to use the N-word, but like, why do you think it is that? Why is it so hard for a Xavier Miller or a Tim Jackson to provide the exact same value as a Grant Cardone without coming across like that?
That's an interesting thing, but I think the first one is the easiest way to put it, is because people still to this day, it's like they don't believe something until they see a white person say it. That's number one. I think a lot of people still have the idea. And the second thing, when I did see the Grant Cardone thing, my immediate reaction was, Grant is a hustler. We all know this. It's been decades. He been hustling, pushing himself, trying to find an audience so he could leverage and make billions of dollars with. And who was the fucking easiest audience to leverage? Black people. It's common fucking sense. We are the easiest audience to manipulate, leverage, because we are so emotional. So when I seen that, I'm like, I get why he targeted us. Look at the fucking president. Why people they mad at Grant, but they not mad at Joe Biden? He did the exact same shit.
Worse.
I ain't even want to say it. You said it. Way worse.
I'll say it. I'll say it.
Niggas ain't talking about Joe Biden.
Joe Biden has a 40-year history of shitting on niggas.
And what did he say?
But if I say that, see, and I'm not a Democrat, I'm not a Republican.
Right.
I am a former zoning commissioner twice appointed. So I'm independent in my vote and in the way I think. I don't subscribe to nobody. I'll shit on anybody. I look at the person, not the politics. But if you want to really line up what he said in that statement compared to what people that we love say, Joe Biden has said, and I say we love, I'm being funny, right. Black folks. I feel like that we selectively choose who we want to be.
We have our outrage with. We do.
It's selective outrage. And that's street shit too. We talk about that too.
Joe Biden literally said, if you don't vote for me, you're not black. What gets more degrading than that? What kind of shit is that? You putting all us in a box so we gotta think exactly the same way? That's a whole nother fucked up level of thinking. But like you said, our outrage is so fucking selective, bro. So that's why 9 times out of 10, I don't even take shit seriously. Like when I seen the Grant shit, I said, I see why people was upset about it. I get it. But it's like, motherfucker, we didn't see people say way fucking worse.
10 times worse.
And we all know what the fuck Grant about. He about money, he about a hustle. Black people is the easiest fucking people to hustle.
They are. And I always say this, and I know when I say it, like my friends like you and some other friends, y'all don't get offended by this because
right.
I always say the easiest way to trick a black person is to pull up in a nice car.
Or have some designer on.
Some designer on, right? I used to go speak at the schools. I still go to speak at school. I'm saying used to. I got to go speak at school tomorrow. And at the courts on Friday. And I would show up in a suit. And a nice watch, and people they wouldn't, they would be intimidated by that, and they didn't know anything about the suits, know anything about the watch.
It's not relatable.
It's not relatable. Then I would show up in some designer, like some Jordans, just some super designer outfitty type shit, and it was like, oh man, you must really be doing it. It's just like y'all will say something about these shoes, but the watch is like a 12,000. You know what I'm saying? Like the kids, right? The mentality is like literally.
They don't know nothing about that though.
They don't know about that.
No, if it had diamonds on it,
if it had a bunch of,
they'd have been like, "Oh, right? It could have been $200, but it had a bunch of fake ass diamonds around it." They'd have been like, "Oh."
But it's like we're such an easy target to manipulate. It is because, like you said, we're so emotional, and when someone like you and me has the audacity to say, "All right, y'all, enough is enough of this emotional shit," like we can't keep getting mad at people for pointing out the obvious
and showing they've been showed us who we are. It's like. But a lot of people so disappointed because these is people they actually fucking look up to. Like I'm never really, it's funny. I'm never really like too mad or upset about shit I see niggas say because I don't look up to none of these niggas. So it don't bother me. Like a lot of these niggas was really upset because they loved Grant at some point. They really fucked with him. It's like, oh man, I can't believe it. I can't believe it. Type of shit.
He broke their heart. I realize, and I'm not like I said. This ain't us shitting on Grant.
Right.
I know people who've gone to his events.
Right. I heard it's dope. I've read
the book.
I read
the book is an amazing book.
He got some game.
Let's not take it away from. But I kind of saw some shit that I was just like, I don't know about that. And I'll never forget this white woman, man. I used to work with Keller Williams, man. I was on their leadership council. I did pretty decent in my office. And there was this white lady who used to be my transaction coordinator. And so we used to talk back and forth. I'd get a deal, and I'd send it over to her, and she worked a deal. And one time I was working a deal, she was like, hey, I'm in Miami, Florida for the 10X conference. I was like, man, tell me about it. She says, I'm going to have to call you.
Damn.
So this is a white lady. This is a lily white lady, right? So she calls me. She was like, Tim, it's not what I thought it was gonna be. It's a bunch of pitches. The whole conference.
That's all. Right.
It's literally. She said I haven't learned anything. She said, and this is her code. She said, and I kind of feel out of place. You know what that means, right?
I know exactly what the fuck that means.
I kind of feel out of place. So I thought to myself, who the fuck? There's a bunch of niggas in there. Huh? You know what I'm saying? So,
that's what she meant.
So when he said, 40% is black people and the average 55-year-old white man don't know him, I was like, that sounds about right. That sounds right. But it's kind of like and I'm going to make this correlation. I want to get your opinion on it. Mm-hmm. It's that pick and choose shit. It's kind of like T. Moran, John Moran's dad, and LeVar Ball. Like, why do we give one of them a pass? Look at the comparison between the two of them, right? They both have sons in the NBA. Well, T. Ball has one son. T. Moran has one son. Ball has 2.5, right? Right? Yeah. LeVar was real loud and boisterous. You know, he was selling his kids, teaching them entrepreneurship, teaching them how to get their own money through their shoe brand. I bought the shoes.
Did you get them?
I supported it.
Did you get them?
Yeah.
I know somebody else saying they never got theirs. So.
Oh, I got mine.
Okay.
I got mine. And people didn't like the way he approached her because he was loud and rambunctious. Right. Okay, so let's get him out of here. What's the difference between T. Moran?
See? He just ain't doing interviews, but he's similar. He's similar.
He's showing up to the game. It's all about him. It's courtside. He's a celebrity now.
I mean,
he almost got into a fight.
Patrick Mahomes there. He been popping shit all playoffs.
Like, so why is it that, and I'm not shitting on either one of them, but I'm making a correlation because I feel like when it comes to who we like and who we don't like, we'll justify as much fuck shit as we want to justify for
if
a person
we like
that we like. And I'm proud of both of those men for being in their son's life and being present. I personally don't give a fuck what they do, but I'm using it as a correlation. Like, I've been watching the comments with Grant Cardone, and people just been like in the comments, like really, really defending it. And I'm just
for
like,
real?
Bruh.
I haven't looked.
They've been in the comments because everybody keeps sending me the goddamn posts.
Okay.
So I'm reading the comments like, you know, a couple black influencers did videos to defend him. I'm just like, why is it that we go out of our way to defend people who literally articulate what they think about us? But when a person that is genuinely trying to help us tries to do some shit, we
don't say. I don't understand what the fuck that's about. But me personally, I don't defend shit unless I personally know you and I know what kind of person you are. Even if I look up to you, but I don't know you. It's nothing for me to defend because I don't know you like that. I don't know you personally enough to know like this is truly who you are. Like if I see some people dogging you, I know you. Yeah. I would take up for you. Like, no, I know Tim. He a solid motherfucker. He a good dude, man. I don't see
you take up for some
people. Yeah, I will. Like if I know you personally. If I don't know you, it's like I fuck with you, but I don't want nothing bad for you. But I can't speak on your situation because I don't fucking know you. And that's no ill intent or nothing like that. I still wish you well. It's just I don't know you, dog. You know what I'm saying? So, but
that's how I feel about criticism. Like I never take criticism personal if I don't know you personally.
Right, yeah.
Like if a random nigga on the line was like, "Man, Tim, you a bitch ass nigga." It's like, "Hey, man, it's a bitch ass nigga today." But you know, if Xavier put me aside, man, that was some hoe ass shit. I'd be like, "Oh,
damn, what the fuck? Let's talk about it."
You my guy, man. I don't want you to ever feel that kind of way. Like, what specifically could I have done better? But a lot of people, they just don't understand that.
They don't understand it. And I heard somebody say this a while back. They say in these times it's better to be liked than to be right.
Yeah.
So that's really what it comes down to. People these days, if they like you, they gonna fucking die on their sword for you. If they don't like you, there's nothing you can do to get them to like you. You could fucking donate $200 million to the homeless. They still gonna say, well, remember that shit you did in 2009?
Yeah, it ain't enough.
It ain't enough. It'll never be enough.
It ain't enough.
If they don't like you.
It'll never be enough for a nigga that ain't fucking with you. And that's kind of where I am like now, like sitting back over the last couple of years, specifically during the pandemic, specifically when I got into that group chat with you and a couple other men, it's just like, I'm really starting to see that consistency is the one thing.
Yeah,
two, you just got to find your niche.
Find your niche, bro.
And let's talk about that because, and I know we finna wrap it up pretty soon. Let me see how much time we got. You have found your niche. You found young, professional, and it's not just black people. Like you target young, professional people. When I had my event in Oakland, somebody pulled up to my event and was like, I found you through Xavier. I'm like, I text you, I'm like, my nigga. But you found your niche. Why was it so important for you to just focus on that niche? Do you and not feel the need to be or do someone else?
It was, bro, what's interesting in when I first started off branding myself, it wasn't working because I wasn't being myself. I was emulating what I seen work for other people, but what work for other people work for them because that's them. It didn't work for me because that's not fucking me. So, and it took me a while to learn that. Like I was emulating other people. I'm like, damn, this shit ain't working. And then I said, fuck it, I'm gonna just be me. Just be naturally who I am, cool, calm, laid back kind of guy. And when I started being myself, things started to take off. And I strategically said, I'm in this shit to become an influencer and have my brand be in front of everybody. It wasn't a thing like, obviously I prioritize black people. You watch my show, most of my audience is black, most of my guests is black, most of my real life friends is black, my girl is black, my child is like, you know what I'm saying? That's what it is. Like I value that. But at the same time, I know the dollar transcends everything. At the end of the day, I'm in business. And business transcends color. So, and I know not only that, everybody got some value to bring. It's some person that could be a fucking white female. She might have some crazy fucking game. Not only can she give it to me, which when she give it to me, she's naturally giving it to my audience. So I valued that, and I'll just double down. In the professional side, like, man, I talked to my brother. My brother work at a bank in Florida. He say, bro, I'm in the bank chilling. This lady from Dallas coming to the bank. She talking about she just moved out from Dallas. I said, yeah, my brother live in Dallas. She said, who your brother? I tell her, like, yeah, he blah, blah, blah. He got a podcast. She said, wait, that's your fucking brother? She pulled this nigga around the camera, had him take a picture. He said these like professional people. He said one of them was a doctor, one of them was a lawyer, and they started taking pictures with him and shit. Like, dang, that's our brother. We fuck with his platform. We listen to his shit all the time. So that's just, I think that came from just being naturally me. You know what I'm saying? So that's not something that I could like fake the funk with. It's just myself, and people resonate. When you genuine, people resonate with that shit.
Bro, they do. I had another guest on, and he said, Tim, I've never asked to go on any podcast.
Really?
He said, people fuck with me because I give them exactly who I am.
Who you are.
He said the world, believe it or not, while we don't articulate this shit because we're taught to just shut the fuck up when shit ain't going our way, people are tired of disingenuine people.
Yeah, completely.
And when you're genuine, like that shit radiates. It radiates. A person can listen to you on the phone. A person listen to you on the podcast. They can watch you on the video and be like,
that nigga sound like my cousin.
This nigga sound, man, you said it like this nigga sound like my big cousin.
Right.
You sound like this dude that used
I
to
grew up with.
My favorite teacher.
Right.
And you don't have to convince your target audience. What's going to happen is when people come into a room and see you, like when I first met you, I'm like, this dude has a presence about him. It's authentic. You weren't trying to come in and big boy niggas. Right. You weren't trying to. When I met you, your shit was number 3. You know what I'm saying? Like it was popping. I had been fucking with you, and I'm like, I can fuck with him, man, because he don't have to be somebody he not to be who he is.
Right.
And so, man, I respect that about you, man. Let's wrap it up on this right here, man. 18-year-old you, right? One of my favorite movies. I do this on every show. Mm-hmm. One of my favorite movies is Back to the Future.
That's one of my favorite movies too, man. Marty and Doc.
Part 2 is my favorite one.
Me too.
It's funny because me and Zay got a lot. We got a lot in common.
I love that movie.
We both was in the same branch of the military. We have a lot in common. But and when you was talking about your dad and your mom's side, mine is inverted. It's the other side.
Really?
So my dad's side was the janky.
That's crazy.
Was the hood side, making the money like that. And my mom's side was the smart ones making the money. So I had
that's
two
crazy.
That were millionaires. And I grew up seeing that shit, knowing that it was possible. And I had cousins on the other side
doing the whole opposite.
And they was doing
making money.
But I always end with this. I say, part 2 on Back to the Future. Biff goes from the future to the past, and he sees himself. He gives himself an almanac. He said, hey, take this bet. Trust me on it. He's like, who are you? He slapped him. He's like, just listen to me. Shut the fuck up and do this. And he goes back, and he was the man.
Yep.
Because he had bet on every single game. And listen. So if you could go back, and you could talk to 18-year-old Xavier. He just got out of college. Maybe you getting ready to swear and go to the military. I don't know what the fuck he was doing.
I didn't go to college.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, I've been saying high school. My bad.
High school, yeah.
And you walking down a lonely hallway. It's just you and him. And he look up and look at you, and he sees somebody familiar. And you like, hey, what the fuck you saying to 18?
Oh, I like that question. That's interesting. And I always been
after you talk to him, you gonna hop back into the DeLorean.
DeLorean, get the fuck on. Yeah. So, and I was a listener when I was younger too. That's why I think I'm in the position I'm in today. I always took heed to people giving me advice, not being an asshole about it. But I would say, find a hustle, find a skill. I don't want to say hustle, find a skill, hone in on that. And this is 10 years ago. Hone in on it right now. Document everything you're doing. Everything. One of my biggest regrets in life this probably is my biggest regret, is I didn't document everything I was doing from when I was like 19, joining the military to now. Because now everybody understands content is king. Content is the cash flow. You're going to make shit ton of money. But if I would have documented everything where people could have truly seen my process from a broke-ass 18-year-old to where I am today, how much money would that be worth? So number one, I would say document everything.
Social proof.
The social proof.
That alone.
That shit is worth fucking unlimited amount of money to people because they could see that. Mm-hmm. So that's that. I would say do that. Document everything. So if you're young, right now, I don't give a fuck if you work at Arby's. Document that shit. Talk about it. Show yourself going to work. You ain't got to put it. If you don't want to put it all on the internet, that's cool. But keep it to yourself at the least. Mm-hmm. Document all this shit and keep it to yourself. For one day, when you doing some boss ass shit, you can say, look, nigga, I used to work at Arby's. cooking these nasty ass roast beef sandwiches.
Arby's is like one of my first jobs.
You know what I'm saying? So it's relatable. You know what I'm saying?
That's super relatable, bro.
So I'm walking up, you catching a bus, whatever you doing, you probably don't feel fresh. Document all that shit because you're not gonna always be like that. And that proof of concept you can show like that's gonna be so much, especially if you're in business, you got product. That people gonna see like you went from this to this. I'm gonna buy into him. So that's the number one thing I would tell myself. Document everything. And number 2 is save all your money. Save your money because it's gonna save you. Save your bread because as you document everything, you come up with these ideas, you're gonna need funding to really scale this thing. You need funding. That's how you're gonna scale it. But if you don't got the funds, you can't scale it. So whatever you doing, whatever work you got, business, hustle, save everything. Don't be buying no designer, don't be buying no fancy cars, don't be taking no crazy trips. Save everything. Do this for at least 4 or 5 years. If you document everything, you save everything, and you commit to learning. Focus on like learning how money work, how investing work, how the stock market work, how real estate work, how can I make money, build a business. You do those fucking 3 things. If you 18, I don't give a fuck what position you in. You do those 3 things. By the time you 25, 26, you're going to be in a position that you wouldn't even believe. And you will be so young.
The rest of your life will be different. I tell people if you can just stop clubbing and stop doing shit for 1 year, that'll change your life.
That'll change your life.
Years. If you can do it for 7 years, it'll change your life forever.
But
and literally between 30 and 37 is where I laid my foundation.
Really?
Yeah. That was literally the period. And I retired at the age of fucking 37. And the play that I talked to you about, I'm not going to say on here.
Right.
That was the cherry on top. Because I had documented.
Yeah, document everything.
I literally documented everything, bro. Because you need your documentation for that.
Come on now.
I had documented everything. And it's just like, I don't even have to touch that now. That's just the cherry on top. The shit that I've been working on the last 7 years, that's what's keeping me afloat. That's keeping me living. That's keeping me taking vacations. That's keeping me doing the shit that I do. But this over here, the documented shit, that's forever. That's an investment.
Right.
That's literally knowing who I was and knowing, hey, this is going to save me one day. And bro, what you just said, man, I shit. Like, motherfucking hair standing up on my arm with that one, bro. Listen.
Bro, imagine if you did that. If you was at Arby's and you was just recording shit like, hey, what's up, y'all? This is Tim Jackson. This is my first day at Arby's. Like, but what I want to do in life, but I'm here because I'm starting. I got to do something. Imagine if you had that content, what you would be doing with it.
I would be shit, man. Like, and you know what's so funny, bro? Because I've been going back through. I'm the type of person, I take a lot of photos. Mm-hmm. So I'm going back finding photos when we was doing shit, paying for people to get out of prison, paying for their expungements. Like, I'm like, man, I done did a lot of shit. The cool thing about it is I have photos of it.
You documented it.
But a part of me didn't want to take photos. It's like, oh, I don't want.
Yeah. Now, not knowing where life was going. I whip my
fucking phone out every chance I get because I really don't give a fuck about what people think. I'm documenting this. I'm a historian. I literally have a master's degree in history, so I can literally call myself a historian. Like, this shit is going to be history, and 5 years from now, the game going to be so much different. But the shit I'm doing right now, specifically with this podcast, specifically watching you and how all y'all move, and I want to say this. I know we were supposed to end, but I want to say this to y'all. Like, if you my age, if you a millennial, if you about to be 40 or in your 40s, like stop shitting on that younger generation. Stop shitting on people that's younger than you because they didn't have it as hard as you, or they didn't have to get it out the mud like you, or they had access to resources and shit. Like, we didn't have it as good as our parents. Our parents didn't have technology. Our parents didn't have the internet. They didn't. I always tell people when they say, "What do you do for a living?" Well, I'm a real estate broker. Well, how'd you become a real estate broker? Well, I went to the library.
They don't even understand it.
I had to go to the library to look this shit up, bro. And now we have that in our hands right now, right?
Literally.
So, y'all old niggas, like, I think the biggest disconnect between the old and the young, these OGs that y'all call them, is that they want to be young so bad. And instead of just getting the game and applying to their current life and embracing it, they're trying to replace y'all by going back and being in y'all steps. It's like, no, man, if you see somebody like a Xavier Miller, you're 10 years older than me, other people that I know that's 10, 15 years older than me that's out there doing their shit, like, I'm going to sit back and I'm going to say, hey, can you show me specifically how you did that?
No facts.
I don't give a fuck that you younger than me.
You just dropped some
play.
You just dropped some gems, man. The best, like, a lot of older people I'm seeing, they don't realize that they best value is embracing that elderly status. Because I ain't saying you are old as hell, but just embracing that status that I'm older than you And that's your value, because you being 10 years older than me tells me, you got 10 more of experience, 10 years more worth of shit. So when I come to you and we have a conversation, you could tell me some shit I don't even know.
We had a conversation.
Exactly. We didn't had a conversation like that.
But check this out. All the shit that I got, that I've learned from you, I literally feel obligated to give you that information. And I don't understand why people don't, like, it's like we hold on to our value. Like, you've been here before. I've lived this life. I know exactly what not to motherfucking do. If I see you going down that road, it is my obligation and my duty to say, oh,
don't do that.
I know you successful.
Right. And it don't matter how much money a motherfucker got.
I know you make good money.
Exactly.
But listen to me on this.
Exactly.
This is what I want you to do. And I want you to at least consider it. I'm not going to be like, well, shit, he doing better than me. Fuck that nigga. That's the mentality of a lot of dudes. They'll see you, and it's like, instead of helping you to continue your success, they want to see you fail.
No, that's facts. That's facts.
That's the most toxic shit in the world. And that's why a lot of young cats don't trust these old niggas, goofy ass niggas.
That's
because
facts.
they trying to be them.
They trying to be us. And it's like, bro, everybody already, our whole peer circle is us. Your value is gonna be being something different,
bro.
And that's your experience, all the shit you've been through that you could give on us. And fuck the money, ain't got nothing to do with the money. Especially if a nigga is he real, he's solid. He don't give a fuck how much money you got.
I don't give
if he respects you, he gonna be like, I'm gonna listen to Tim. Even it don't matter what my financial status is, because he an elder. How I was raised to respect your elders no matter what. It could be a homeless motherfucker. That's how I was just raised. Like, this your elder, respect them. And now if they being disrespectful, fuck them. That's different. But if they coming to you like solid, real, you respect them. It don't give a fuck what their financial status is.
And you don't have to always take a person's advice to respect them.
Exactly.
Like, a lot of times
you can hear it and be like, okay.
People just want to be acknowledged.
That's
they
it.
Just want you to acknowledge, and it's like I learned that myself. Like, when a person comes to me, I was always taught, like, feedback is a gift. It's like a gift. You either, like, if you get a bad gift at Christmas, an ugly sweater or some shit you don't want, you're not gonna take the gift and throw that shit in the trash, right? But I'm like, man, fuck this shit. You know what I'm saying?
You gotta be a wild mother.
Oh, thank you so much. My nephew is really good about that. My nephew, I don't give a fuck what you give my nephew. He will make you feel like it's the best gift in the world. Fucking gift in the world. Oh my gosh! and
that make you want to do more for people like that. It makes you want
to do more for him, right?
Exactly.
I love my nephew. I know you're gonna watch this. I know me and you was going back and forth on some shit last night, but that don't mean I don't love you. Mm-hmm. But it's like, you have to be able to pour into people, and you got to be able to say, hey, listen, I see you doing something. I know that you've been successful, but consider this. And when a person gives you that feedback, you don't have to agree with shit they say. Just say, you know what?
Just be respectful about it.
I appreciate you for even thinking about me, man. Because I always tell people, if I don't say shit, that means I don't give a fuck.
I don't fuck with you at all.
I don't fuck with you at all.
At all. If I ain't saying nothing, I'm just letting you do whatever you want to do. That means the motherfucker don't really fuck with you.
Don't really fuck with you at all. But if I take time on my schedule to say, man, listen, I know you gonna do what the fuck you gonna want to do, but consider this. You know how much advice I've been giving to some of the people that we around,
right? And
they come back later like, damn, nigga, like I would have never known to do it. Like, thank you, bro. I'm like, hey, that's what I'm here for. But what people don't realize too, and I'm gonna look at the camera when I say this, he said something to me before we got started. I think you said during this interview, like, don't be afraid. The worst a person can tell you is no.
Yep.
No, a lot of times just means not right now.
Facts.
I learned that in sales.
Facts.
It just means not right now. Like, when I first got into real estate sales, people were like, I ain't trying to buy a house, and then I wouldn't foster and build that relationship, and I look up 2 years later, they done bought a house, and I feel some kind of way. Well, it ain't their fault. I'm not top of mind. When they told me no, I should have put a system in place to follow up.
Follow up is everything.
By the way, when you're ready, here's this article you can read. Hey, remember, you want to save up this much money. No, it takes 6 months to do this. Then I would have been top of mind. But a lot of motherfuckers get a no and be like, oh, man, fuck it.
Fuck them.
I don't want to look stupid, or, man, fuck them. That's my own ass. I get it by myself. When I see niggas talking about they got out the mud and got by themselves, I'm like, I don't fuck with a nigga like that.
If you get, man, and at that point, that tells a lot about your circle. If you had to get it out the mud like that just tells me you're not around a lot of solid motherfuckers. And if you're not around a lot of solid people, how resourceful and solid are you?
Oh, say that one more time.
If you're not around a lot of solid people, how solid and successful are you? Because we know like attracts like. So if you just one solid person, you don't know nobody else that's solid, that's official, something not adding up. 2 + 2 gonna always equal 4. Like, I just had this conversation recently. I said, I got this from this documentary on Netflix when the guy said, I don't have problems, I have friends. Meaning I have a strong network to the point that if I have a problem, I could hit somebody in my contact and we can have a solution within a reasonable time. If you can't do that, you need to evaluate your fucking circle. You have a weak ass network. If you got a problem and you can't say, let me hit somebody on my phone real quick and just say, hey, could you help me with this? And everybody you hit, they don't know nobody. They can't help you. Your circle is weak as fuck. Get around some new people. ASAP. But before you do that, you got to become valuable yourself. Because if you ain't got no fucking value, why would they fuck with you anyway? If you got value, you naturally going to be around other people that got value because they going to see the value in you. And they going to be like, I need you around me, bro. I know. Before you can hit somebody and ask them for a solution, they got to be able to feel the exact same way about you. No, I can hit Xavier for some shit and he could come through for me. You just can't be reaching out to all these people, but then when it's time for them, they can't call on you for nothing. What the fuck you in the circle for?
Damn. I don't have nothing to fucking say on that note. Like, I don't even want to respond to that. Like, there's nothing left to say. That's a mic drop moment.
It's real talk, bro. Like that's real talk. I spoke on this recently because I was in Miami, man. I was kicking it, and I was trying to get on. I don't know nobody in Miami with a yacht personally, but I hit up some friends. I'm trying to get a yacht within an hour. Hey, I got it, bro. Meet me here. And that's just a small example on a network. You know what I'm saying? This is why you build a network, because when you got a network, your life becomes easier. Now when a motherfucker go to Miami and they say, hey, I need a yacht, they can hit me because I got the plug.
I swear that's how it is for Costa Rica. Like we went to Costa Rica, man. We had this one dude. This dude was a pilot. He's our tour guide. He was a pilot. He had a boat. He had a license for everything. Literally everything you can imagine. So every time somebody said they're going to Costa Rica, I'm like, call my guy. Call my guy, man. He's a one-stop shop. He knows that shit like the back. This dude has a pilot license. If you want to go to another area, he can physically fly you there. But it's like, we met him through our network.
Network. Bro, I'll give another example. What just happened this past weekend with me and you? Yeah. What, we ain't going to talk about it on the camera, but you know what I'm trying to do? I got the guy. Call him. Problem solved.
And you were looking like,
I'm looking at you like, what the fuck? For real?
I was like, oh, that's easy.
Exactly.
And it's like, I posted that whole thing with Judge Mathis. My attorney hit me up. He was like, man, if you need some examples of those expungements, if you want to post them, I got you.
See?
I'm like,
network.
And that's my attorney. Like, he hit me up. Like, network. I'm telling you, bro, like, your network, man, like, I'm gonna run that book for. That's gonna be the clip I put some money behind, because I think what happens is people have this mentality, this self-absorption, that they this solid motherfucker, and everybody should just come to them. And they the plug. And if you come to my city, you call me.
Motherfuckers delusional.
Them motherfuckers are delusional. They don't nobody fuck with you like that. Nigga. And it's like, if you look around and if everybody a hoe ass nigga. If everybody's a hoe ass nigga,
that says a lot
about you, man.
It's like when a woman be like, all men ain't shit. You don't have to say nothing else. I know what kind of woman you are. You don't have to say nothing. I already know what kind of woman you are. I know why you in the position you in. Yeah. I already know.
You can't say that out loud. R.I.P. to Kevin Samuels, man. Right. You know, Ray, man. You know you can't criticize no women on that shit.
But that's the truth. Like you said,
that's the truth, man. Like, and you got to pay attention. And I think that. Like, my motto for this year is I'm not trying to convince the wrong people to do the right thing. You know
I love that. I love that.
If I have to convince you, you're not my target audience. If me and you are having a conversation and I'm having to sell you on something, it's not for you. Like, it's just not for you. That wasn't meant for you.
At the time, at least. Not at the time.
Not at the time.
Right.
So, no might mean not right now, but as we speak, this is not ready for you. So, when you're ready, then come see me. But we have to stop being so emotional when a person tells us we're not ready. We got to stop being so emotional when a person rejects us or tells us that this ain't for them or you ain't for me. Like, I think if people can get their emotions under control, then they won't run into so many hoe ass niggas.
Yeah, they not living enough though. You know, you got to live a lot to be able to accept rejection. If you ain't living and trying shit, rejection always gonna be hard. If you're not trying to actively talk to women. When one woman tells you no, you like, I'm not talking to another woman again. But if you actively out here You at the mall, you just pulling up on women. You don't give a fuck how many times. You just like, I'm looking for one yes.
Numbers game.
One yes. That's all I need. And that's
he said one yes. That's all. Ray J, if I had one wish.
That's all I need is one yes. And that transfers to life, to business. All you need is one yes. I look at it like with business, all I need is one hit, aka we talked about it earlier, when I'm making this content, I could have 99 flops, but all I need is one.
Just one. And that's the validation. In today's society, that one thing will validate you for 5 or 10 years.
Forever. Yeah. I could not do nothing. I could not do nothing successful for the rest of my life. Just the fact that I made one podcast successful. I did it once. That's enough to last me for the rest of my life.
It is.
You know what I'm saying? And just for personally, the confidence. That's the dope thing about accomplishing things. Because if I ever hit a down streak, I'ma always have this time to lean back on. To say, man, look, Zay, you remember when you did this shit? You built something from the ground up and you did it, blah, blah, blah. That's going to fuel me back up and say, hold on, I did do that shit.
I swear me and my wife just had this conversation.
For real?
Because like when I retire, if you don't stay busy, you'll find yourself feeling like, well, damn.
Well, what the fuck? You kind of lose your footing.
And I was talking to my wife because now I'm getting back to I said I want to retire again at the age of 45.
Uh-oh.
But this time I want to retire by helping 100 people become millionaires.
Right.
So that's my goal. So I got the tour going on. But I was talking today, I said, the thing that's really motivating me right now is literally going down memory lane. Like I was going through looking at content in my phone.
Yep.
And I was going through the last 7 years. I had the picture of when I sold my car. A lot of people know my journey to getting out of debt. I sold my Lexus. I moved out of my house and rented it out. I moved back home. Like I literally crunched down my entire life so I can take every single penny that I had and I put it in my business. And I was going through those pictures and I was like, I stumbled upon the picture of the Lexus. I'm like, damn, I remember when I sold that Lex. You know what I'm saying? That was an extra $800 a month for me. Oh shit. Then the next couple pictures, it was a picture of my house where I put it on the market. Damn, I remember when I rented my house out, but I refinanced it from $1,200 to $900, and I rented it out for $1,250, $1,300. Like that was an extra, that's a $600-$700 swing, right? Plus, the money for the Lexus, plus this. And I was like, and then within a couple months, I had my own office. Within a couple months, I was doing this. I told my wife, if you just stick with me, you give me 6 months. We were dating at the time. So you give me 6 months to work my plan. You'll never have to work a day in your life if you so choose. And she believed in a nigga. She said, I fuck with you. Just do it. I moved in with her ass downtown. I was that nigga living with my girl. I didn't give a fuck because I understood.
You had a vision and a mission.
Right? And bro, I'm telling you from there, I literally was looking at going back down memory lane. I was like, oh, this next leg is a piece of cake. I just got to be consistent.
You got to be consistent.
I got to get a schedule.
Because you've already done it before. Just in a different lane, but you've done it.
Done it. But this time around, I'm documenting it twice as much.
Yep.
But I'm also making it a point to bring people with me. Like, I don't give a fuck how good you are or how bad you're doing. My goal is to touch somebody, put one piece of information that somebody's like, everybody I come across that's going to add an extra 0 or 2 to their network. Just one. If I can give you one thing to do and it takes you from a 6-figure earner to a 7-figure earner or a 4-figure earner to a 5-figure earner, I just want to give you one piece of game that I've used specifically that I've done that's going to take you there. And bro, I kid you not, within the last year, everybody who I'm coming into that I'm fucking with, I see them 5-6 months later like, my nigga, like that shit worked.
That worked.
I had a partner of mine, he paid his house. We sold them a house 5 years ago. He texts me, the house is paid off.
Damn.
I said, what? He said, we followed your blueprint to the T. They have 2 kids, a 2-year-old and a 5-month-old, 6-month-old, and they don't have any mortgage. Wife is a nurse.
That's fire, bro.
I don't know what kind of work the husband does, but he does really good work. So they keeping 100% of their money. Nurse practitioner and a professional. Keeping 100% of their money with 2 new kids.
They up. They winning. Nurse practitioner
was all because of some shit I taught they ass 5 years ago. Like, come on, man. Like, you got what it takes. The motherfucking idea is the validation. Stop seeking validation from motherfuckers that didn't get the idea. That shit was put in your head for a reason. Like, stop getting the idea and then feeling like you got to go to a bunch of niggas that ain't doing shit for themselves and asking them to validate your motherfucking idea. It wasn't given to them.
It wasn't.
So now you going to the wrong people for the right answer. They going to tell you the wrong thing because they not even believing in themselves enough to do what the fuck they supposed to be doing. So why the fuck they going to tell you to do it?
Straight up.
Right? So you got to get the fuck about your environment. You got to get around motherfuckers that get it. You got to swallow your pride.
Mm-hmm.
Go into that event with y'all, that brunch.
Yep.
That shit was so far out of my motherfucking comfort zone, bro.
The one from
a couple years ago. With
yeah.
Drake,
Yeah. Oh, damn, I forgot about that. Yeah,
that's where I met you.
Yeah, it is what we met.
That shit was out of my comfort zone, bro.
For real?
But it was like, I told myself, no, I'm going to this shit, bro, because I'm finna get into a room with people who are doing what I want to do. I've succeeded in real estate. That's that hand-to-hand combat is what I'm calling it. I want to succeed online.
Yep.
So I need to get into a room with people that's successful online. I don't give a fuck who it is. If I don't like their personality, I don't give a fuck. They have what I want. I'm going to give them some value. And if they don't give me anything, okay. If they give me something in exchange, I'm going to take that play. I'm going to run that motherfucker to the motherfucking wheels fall off, and I'm going to give them their credit when it works. That's it, bro. But people have too much pride. It's like a nigga want to win without no help, and they don't want to get no credit. Give them niggas their credit, bro.
No, that's facts. Niggas don't want to do that.
Niggas don't want to give you no credit today. I tell everybody, listen, when you buy, then we gonna end on this. I swear we gotta go. When you go out and you buy Russell Brunson's content, I bought his ClickFunnels one funnel away. Okay. And he's got the internet marketing shit down to a science.
I heard.
Another dude that's got it down to a science, a black dude, Lamar Tyler. Traffic, Sales, and Profit. I'm giving Lamar a shout out.
Okay.
Lamar is like
he the truth.
He's one of the reasons why I said I want to make 100 millionaires. This dude done made so many millionaires.
For real? I don't think I've heard of him before.
Traffic, Sales, and Profit.
Black dude?
Out of Atlanta.
Okay.
I was going to his conferences. It was in a hotel room with 50 people, 60 people. That was in 2007. This dude packing out shit, bringing Magic Johnson to speak at this shit now. Having billionaires coming to speak. Like, this dude is the play. But when I go back to Russell Brunson shit, literally in his training, all he teach you to do is just copy what you see that's working. Literally, he'll say, if you see somebody selling the same course that you want to sell, instead of feeling like I need to go recreate it, buy their course, get on Fiverr, rebrand it, redesign it, get a copywriter to change up the words
so you don't get sued,
and then market to a different audience.
Yeah, different audience because there's so many people in the world. But you people don't think like that. We got this idea of
you can only be one.
Too much. Everything is oversaturated. Without realizing that, I realized this from talking to Anthony. Shout out to Anthony Herzog. Is that you only gotta. Most of the motherfuckers that's doing something is not doing it. 90% of, just like podcasting. 95% of everybody was like, podcast is too many. I can't start one. Nigga, 95% of them not doing it. They making just because they have a podcast don't mean they're podcasting. That's a fact. Just because somebody has a business don't mean they in business. So when you realize that, you understand if you are competing, have a competing mentality, you only competing with the top 5-10% of people. The other millions of people ain't doing shit.
That's a fact.
But people don't realize that they think just because somebody doing something, everybody got a podcast. Like, motherfucker, they got 2 episodes. They got no podcast.
And I know because I had a podcast and I did about 150 episodes. I was doing it consistently. Man, I was picking up so much traction and I just stopped doing it.
You just stopped doing it, huh?
And people still to this day hit me about that shit. So I'm like, no, it's back to the consistency. And
yeah.
Damn, you said something, bro. Like, you said something like it's just all about getting out there doing it, bro.
Just doing it. It's that simple. Everybody wants some kind of secret or some kind of secret sauce. And to be honest, the secret sauce is you just doing it. And you doing it over a period of time. Obviously, you want to have some dopeness about you. You can't be that motherfucker from I always bring him up from the eye
from dry eye.
You know
was clear eye.
You know what I'm talking about.
Wow. Yeah.
You can't be him.
You can't be that nigga.
No.
Wow.
You gotta have some kind of game and entertainment and.
I know exactly what the fuck you talking about, bro. I swear.
I don't know how you knew that. We on the same page.
We got too much motherfucking shit in common, bro. I knew as soon as you said it, I knew exactly who the fuck you talking about. For dry eyes.
Clear eyes. That's that motherfucker. You can't be him and expecting to you just gonna blow, especially you talking about the internet because everything's so fast paced. So you gotta have some entertainment. They call it edutainment. You gotta give us some game, inspire, but be entertained at the same time. If you do those things and you be consistent, you just like I told myself. I said at the beginning of the year, I said, man, ain't nobody finna work harder than me. That's why that mindset. It said I'm finna put out the most fucking content. I'm finna fucking flood.
You changed my fucking life when you had this shit. You had our episode up the next day, and then you did Dre episode. I was like, I'm tripping. I'm taking a week to put up an episode. My guy, as soon as you get ready to walk out the studio, dude's like, all right, man, it's already sent. It's already. What the fuck am I doing? But you staying top of mind.
I'm staying on top of it. I'm putting this out there. Let's get it to me. Let's get it rolling. A lot of people in our lane, they'll do something like this and they will wait 3 fucking months to release. I'm like, what is the reason? seasons change. What we was talking about on this may not even be relatable 2 months from now.
I'm literally posting 4 podcasts within the next 24 hours.
That's called work right there.
I already got them. I done already signed them up. I done put them in the software so we can start generating the play that y'all told me this weekend. Generating the reels. Like I already got one posted to go out tonight, and I'm posting the rest of them. 4 fucking podcasts will be out by tomorrow.
That's work, bro.
I don't give a fuck no more, man.
Exactly.
It's like,
you can't.
Who am I waiting for?
You can't.
So yeah, man, where can they find you, bro?
Man, I'm everywhere, man. You can listen to my podcast, Millionaire Mindsets. That's everywhere. That's Apple, Spotify, YouTube, everywhere. And you can find me on all social media at Xavier C. Miller on Twitter, Facebook, on Instagram. I'm at the official Xavier Miller. They got my first page out of there. Only got 1 page. It's official Xavier Miller. I say in the bio, I did not DM you. I don't got no backups. If somebody DM you saying some crypto, Bitcoin, DM you, period, it ain't me. I ain't DMing nobody I don't know personally. So y'all can catch me on all those platforms. Follow me, tap into everything.
Y'all, that's it. That's a wrap today. I want to thank you so much for joining in. Like, share, subscribe. Be sure to go follow Xavier everywhere. Xavier's going to have a play. If it's not his play, it's going to be somebody else playing the show. The dude is different, man. I always say he's been here before. I mean that shit. I'm going to give you your flowers.
Thank you, bro. Thank you.
Everything that you've taught me about this podcasting game indirectly, man. I study your page. It's you and about a handful of other people. I'm on y'all page every single day. Like, okay, this is how this shit's work. And I promise you, every time I make an adjustment to my shit, it works, bro. I'm going to start texting you too. But y'all, check him out. This is the No More OGs podcast. We are the culture, you guys. This isn't about trying to convert somebody to be who they're not. This is about us creating our own lane. There are so many men like me and Xavier out there, and so many women who have the same mindset as we to make things better in our community. We cannot ask for celebrities. We can't ask for politicians. We can't ask for anyone to do the work that we desire to have. It's on us. Let's go get it. So do me a favor. Like, follow, subscribe. It's your man, Tim Jackson. I'll see you soon.